What's good, YouTube? So today I want to talk about a new term introduced into the game called double piercing damage. So before we had piercing damage, which became an actual official term in Yu-Gi-Oh, meaning that when you attack a defense position monster and your attack is higher than defense, the difference is dealt as damage. This is what piercing damage is. So double piercing damage, it's simple enough to get. You double the damage dealt. And it's kind of gone under the radar. Not really anyone's talking about it, but it's actually going to have a huge impact on the game coming up. Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon was super hyped, and of course, the deck didn't really do anything to the meta. But Metal Foes, on the other hand, is a whole other aspect to the game. Metal Foes Orichalc has the effect that it can do double piercing damage in addition to when it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target a card on the field and destroy it. So a lot of people are playing two Orichalc so they can abuse the second one and actually inflict extra damage after having used the first one to clear problems on the field. So the reason this is a really big deal is that it kind of presents this place in the format to where you start questioning if you should put things in attack or in defense. So it's obvious that there are going to be more Metal Foes decks than a lot of decks, but one deck that we need to consider here is the Performapal deck. Now, the Performapal deck basically takes advantage of attack mode's monsters, puts them down to 0, and OTKs using Odd Eyes. And Radish Horse helps this a lot. So what's really insane is that you now have to kind of decide, am I facing Performapals or this, and how to play around it, because Orichalc can push in damage, and you're going to get punished less for having your monsters in defense than attack, but often people just leave it in attack, which leaves a huge hole for game one for Odd Eyes decks to take advantage. Another thing to consider also is what you're side decking when playing things like Orichalc. Flying Sea quickly became more accepted than Ghost Ogre, so if you're playing the deck or picking it up since you're seeing that it's doing well, you want to consider Flying Sea first against your Burning Abyss matchups. The reason being, they're 700 defense versus 2800. That's 4,200 damage, over half your opponent's life points when you get to attack Orichalc into Flying Sea. This just makes Flying Sea the better overall card when you are siding for BA when playing Metal Foes. So there's just a lot of things to consider from this small introduction to the game because it's in one of the top meta decks. And then you also have other meta decks running around that would abuse the mindset that you are playing against this card. So you want to be very careful in considering matchups and deciding how to set up your turns when you're going first with your turn 1 boards. Thanks for watching, and I hope this discussion was kind of fun. I hadn't really seen anybody else talking about the fact that this term's been introduced to the game and the double damage part, so I just wanted to bring it to light.